Want to tell you about a special event. The Crew of Gonzales Fraternity Order of Police presents a Mardi Gras Ball, a black tie event, on Saturday, February the 4th at the Gonzales Civic Center in Gonzales. Again, a black tie event, and a big sponsor is Debbie's Bridal, a formal affair. A proceeds of any sale, a portion of the proceeds of some of the sales of the gowns at Debbie's Bridal will go to the benefactors of the Crew of Gonzales Fraternal Order of Police Mardi Gras Ball. Put the date down, Saturday, February 4th, in the Gonzales Civic Center, right there on Irma Boulevard in Gonzales. And you can go to Debbie's Bridal on Burnside and get more information, get tickets, or you can call them at 644-2942, area code 225. That number again, 644-2942. Special event on Saturday, February 4th, a black tie event. That'll be really nice. Mardi Gras Ball down in Gonzales. I'm Tommy Krysan, hour number 2 of Tigers Roar. We got it coming on for you. Plenty of stuff. And joining me now in the musical chair, we had Ronnie Rand's first hour, and we thank Ronnie for being here. Carter Bryant. You've seen Carter on a lot of the specials and the features and the challenges on Tigers Roar TV. Carter, how you doing tonight?
The big problem here for me, Tommy, is us young kids. We're so lazy nowadays. We do everything on our phones. I have a problem with slouching down. So please,
you gotta sit upright and get it right.
See,
huh?
I'm not like you old school, growing up, lunch pail type of guys that are able to sit up straight all the time. So just please forgive me. And the phone books. I mean, I'm gonna just tell Ronnie how angry I am that he didn't leave me any phone.
Well, Ronnie's 6'6", you're 5'6".
I'm telling you, there's nothing I can do about it. So I'm going to apologize to everybody up front.
Well, again, you've seen Carter, and you can get to know a lot more about Carter in this hour. He's done some work at KLSU, a lot of sports work. He's worked for some of the national networks, and, of course, done a lot of stuff with us on Pelican Sports TV. But right now, as we let you know, as we do just about each and every Wednesday night, we're joined by Brian Lazar of TigerBait.com. Brian, good evening. How you doing?
Hey, Tommy, how you doing?
Brian, 2 weeks away from signing day. I think everybody's got the funk of the LSU-Alabama game behind them for the most part. Not completely, but for the most part. What's the very latest on the LSU football recruiting situation?
Well, LSU right now, having lost, a couple guys in the last week, Gunnar Keel and Pat White, they're down at 19 commitments right now. So that means that they still have 6 guys that they can bring in before next year. Certainly Jeremy Hill is one option, and still, if he gets his legal matters ironed out, I'm sure that he will be at LSU. And the linebacker at Patterson, Lorenzo Phillips, is another guy who is probably in good shape. That still leaves 4 spots open, and LSU's out on the trail. They're still recruiting, and we just have to wait and see who comes in.
Brian, Coach Miles mentioned in a meeting with the media yesterday he was satisfied with the class to date. He can't make comments on specific players. We all know that. But he did say that they have to finish strong as a staff with recruiting. So it's going to be a very busy final 2 weeks leading up to that February 1 signing day for this LSU staff. As you said, they got to get 6 more people, 6 more student athletes committed. That's provided nobody else decides not to. And again, I think there's going to be a little bit more flip-flopping in this last couple of weeks, not just for LSU, but for schools all over the state and the conference than normal.
I think that's definitely something that happened. And also you have the new rule this year where you can only sign 25. So it means if you sign somebody, in 2 weeks and he ends up not qualifying, which you may not know until the summer, you just lose that scholarship. So you can certainly see some movement still going on. Look, LSU is still recruiting Landon Collins, Les Miles and Frank Wilson had a home visit last Friday with him, so they haven't given up there. So it's you still have 2 more weeks. That's the easiest way to say it. You really can't count anybody in until you have their signature, and you can't count anybody out until they have their signature at another school.
Brian, the LSU quarterback situation is the most talked about thing in Baton Rouge sports the last 50 or 60 years, and that's not going to go away even with Jordan Jefferson and Jared Lee exhausting their eligibility. Now that Gunnar Keel, who was a verbal commitment to LSU for a brief time, he's enrolled at Notre Dame, so he's out of the picture. What quarterbacks are LSU going after? I'm thinking they want to have at least one quarterback in this signing class.
Well, they They do, and the two guys are still recruiting. Jeremy Liggins, who's from Oxford, Mississippi. He is not yet committed, but most people feel he's leaning to Ole Miss. And the other one is Jameis Winston, who's from Hueytown, Alabama, right outside of Birmingham, who has committed to Florida State, but LSU is still recruiting him. Now, Winston, he's also a Major League Baseball possibility in the draft. So, you know, even if he gets signed by someone, you're going to have to sweat him out whether or not he comes to school. But those are the two quarterbacks that LSU is still recruiting.
And as we know, it'll all become official when paperwork is done on February 1st. We're talking with Brian Lazar of TigerBait.com. Brian, nice win for the basketball team last night in overtime against Auburn. Tough task with Florida this coming weekend, but as we've talked about and as you have mentioned, Brian, this is a better basketball team than last year.
Right. It's a better team. And again, you're never going to get Trent Johnson to say this, but I'm going to say this. You're going to measure this team on what it does in 9 games. In other words, the SEC this year, there's no doubt there's a significant gap between the first 5 teams and the next 7. And the first 5 being Kentucky, Florida, Vanderbilt, Alabama, and Mississippi State. And there is a gap between those 5 and everybody else. In that everybody else group, LSU has 9 games against those teams, and I think that's what you measure this team on, see what they do in those 9 games. So far, they're 2-1. They beat Auburn and Ole Miss at home, and they lost on the road to Arkansas. Now, the next 3 games, and in fact, 6 of the next 7 games, 6 of LSU's next 7 games are against the 5 halves. They have Florida, then Mississippi State, then Kentucky, then they have Arkansas at home, and then after that they have to play Vanderbilt, Alabama, and Mississippi State. So the last 5 games of the conference schedule are all against teams who are going to be second division teams. So LSU could have a not very pretty conference mark, but everybody has to keep in mind that if this team stays with it, improves, they got a chance to do some damage in the last 3 weeks of the regular season.
Brian, tell everybody what they're going to get when they go to TigerBait.com. Of course, so everybody that follows recruiting is wanting to know the very latest, and you guys update that basically each and every hour, maybe every couple of hours. Tell the good folks about TigerBait.com.
www.tigerbait.com, a 7-day free trial all the time. And, of course, right now, plenty of recruiting coverage coming down these last 2 weeks. And seeing who LSU will wrap up its class with. We'll have plenty of coverage on recruiting on signing day on February 1st. And, of course, we've already started covering recruiting for the 2013 class. They had a junior day last weekend and a lot of coverage about that. And, obviously, there'll still be stories of the current LSU football program. We're breaking down right now. We'll be starting a series breaking down each position of the LSU team heading into the off-season workouts. And then there'll be coverage of basketball, and then a week from Friday, the baseball team begins practice.
Brian Lazar, TigerBait.com. As always, we appreciate it, Brian. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Tommy.
All right, that's Brian Lazar. Again, if you haven't checked out TigerBait.com, you need to do that and do it soon. Again, we got Carter Bryant here. When we come back, you're going to learn a whole lot more about Carter Bryant, and we're going to get his input, his thoughts and commentary on many of the topics we discussed in the previous hour. We will let you hear from Les Miles again, as well as Mo Claiborne and Michael Brockers. We'll take our weekly run through the LSU athletic department and a whole lot more stuff. Got Carter Bryant here. I'm Tommy Krysan. This is Pelican Sports TV, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, New Orleans, and you're watching Tigers Roar.
I am Glenn Big Baby Davis, and you're watching Pelican Sports Television.
For the thirsty, for those who hang out in packs, for heroes, for sidekicks, for those who see the glass half empty, for those who see it half full, for those on the right, for those on the left, for those with nicknames, for those with curves, for people that cycle, for people that recycle, for BFFs, for frenemies, for those with style, for lovers, for families, for big families, for everyone.
The family dental practice of Dr. Farrell Fruget Jr. and our highly trained staff are dedicated to providing care and treatment to our patients of all ages in all aspects of dental care. 23 years of experience and advanced training in cosmetic and restorative dentistry, TMJ, and treatment of snoring and sleep apnea allows Dr. Fruget to assist you in achieving the best in dental health. Call us today at 292-9700 to schedule your initial evaluation, because we know how to make you smile.
BetterBatonRougeJobs.com has been extremely beneficial for the TM Automotive Group. And what stands out to us, it's easy to use, not only for us, but it's easy for the applicants. And it's the quality of applicants that we get. It's timely. We post something in the morning. By that afternoon, we have double-digit applicants. And again, it's the quality of the applicants.
Employers, now is a great time to hire, recruit, and look for potential new employees.
BetterBatonRougeJobs.com. It's free for job seekers and great for business.
Total Occupational Medicine has been treating injured workers and providing drug tests and employment physicals in our community with a staff of certified professionals for over 20 years. Conveniently located at 3333 Drusilla Lane at I-12, Total Occupational Medicine can assess your needs and present a plan to get your injured workers back to work as soon as medically appropriate. Call Jim Bollinger or Dennis Taylor at 924-4460 to put the experienced team at Total Occupational Medicine to work for you today. That's 924-4460.
Don't forget about FantasyPickZ.com. If you have not visited this website yet, you got to go check it out. Get on their free email list. I've done that. FantasyPickZ.com. Coming soon, basketball, baseball, and golf stuff. It's owned and developed and owned by some Louisiana natives. That's a good thing, keeping it in South Louisiana. FantasyPickZ.com. Check it out real soon and let them folks know that you saw it on Pelican Sports TV, Tigers Roar. Again, I'm Tommy Christ, and I'm glad to have you tuned in on our program here on a Wednesday night. If you're catching us Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, you got a replay going. You've seen Carter Bryant on many of the features. He's probably done 8, 9, 10 features for us. This is the 74th week of Tigers Roar as we have it now, although the show's been around for 5 years now, considering back to its original inception. And you get a look here at Carter with some of the challenges that he has done. Carter Bryant, tell everybody a little bit more about yourself, and so the people out there watching all over South Louisiana get to know you a little bit more about Carter Bryant.
Well, Tommy, of course, it's been a blessing being here at Pelican Broadcasting. I also work at KLSU Radio, the student radio station. I've been around. Being at LSU, I've also went to Washington, D.C. and New York City, worked at Sirius XM Satellite Radio, and I'm an ESPN correspondent here for the students' perspective, which we'll get into here in a second. I like to do these challenges for Pelican Broadcasting. I like doing whatever it takes journalism-wise to really take it to the next level. And it's not just all these stupid challenges. I'm not just a terrible athlete when it comes to going up against the best LSU has to offer in each one of these sports. I just like to go out and have fun. And Chris and I, the producer of the show, we always go out there with the camera, have a great time, and put LSU athletes to the precipice of their abilities.
Well, and you've done stuff on the soccer field, softball, tennis court, track and field, hammer throw. I mean, you've done it a lot. Did that special on eating the grass when Les Miles was eating grass a year ago. You've done a lot of different things, and I know we get a lot of positive feedback on the YouTube page and here at Pelican Broadcasting on the work you've done. And Alan Traylor, one of the owners, said, let's get Carter on in hour number 2 tonight so people can get a little more of you. You are a student at LSU. You're originally from Arkansas, so how did you end up in Baton Rouge? How did you end up LSU student?
Well, my dad went to Catholic High School in Baton Rouge, which, of course, is a huge high school in this region, and I always wanted to come back here. We've been going to LSU games our whole life, so I just wanted to come back here. Great journalism program at LSU, the Manship School, so I wanted to get back involved in doing that, and lo and behold, I've been lucky enough to have some opportunities, not really knowing anybody here, coming to the boot, and I've loved every second of it.
Well, and you're going to have some more features coming up for us this spring. We're going to try to do something with a little baseball, a little softball, and who knows, we may create something else as well. I know you got plenty of stuff up your sleeve.
Yeah, and I was actually speaking with someone else I challenged earlier this year, Mo Isom.
Right.
And Mo's a really good friend of mine. She actually does some great challenges against Tyrann Mathieu and those guys as well. We love doing this, and I challenged Mo in, of course, the soccer penalty kick shootout earlier this year. And I'm looking forward to trying new things. She said she wouldn't mind me going off the high dive and a lot of scuba diving gear. So I'm going to try some new things. You got to stay tuned. And also remember, go on youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. You can see all these wonderful features. And eventually we'll post what we put last week when we went out and interviewed some of the tailgaters for the New Orleans BCS National Championship.
The viewers are getting a little look now of the penalty kick feature with Mo Isom, outstanding soccer player and student athlete out at LSU. That was a lot of fun. And again, all these features are on the YouTube page, YouTube/Pelican Broadcasting. You can go check it out. I promise you, you're going to enjoy it. I promise you're going to laugh and be entertained. And just as importantly, you're going to learn a lot more about some of LSU's finest student athletes that, that aren't on the football team on national TV every time they turn around. You got Mo Isom right there. You get to learn something about these athletes who work just as hard as any other student athletes on the campus, and it's our privilege, and we're very proud to be able to give them some exposure and let people get to know them a little bit more and what they do in their respective sports.
Yeah, and you're right about that. I mean, Mo Isom, she's somebody that's actually going to be trying out for the football team. And I spoke to her earlier today about the challenges she's going to face going in a male-dominated sport. Of course, you go back to New Mexico when they had the field goal kicker back then. Mo is telling me right now she's been nailing them from 51 yards out. So we'll see what she can do next year when the lights are the brightest, and if she can actually
So she's going to try to be a kicker.
She's going to try to be a kicker. She's on the cover of 225 magazine this month.
Yeah, I saw that.
She's a real good friend of mine. I'm wishing for her the best. And she's someone that always takes challenges head on. Woman of faith, doing a lot of things against the norm right now. So she's someone I think that can go out there, make this team. I don't think she could challenge Drew Allemon, who's a phenomenal field goal kicker for LSU. But she has a chance to make this team, Tommy.
Well, we wish her the best. I enjoyed the work that you and her did together, and we at Pelican Broadcasting wish her nothing but the very best as well. Carter, you were in the Superdome a week ago Monday, the thud in the dome, as I have called it, when LSU's season came to a screeching halt at the hands of a very good Alabama team. Give us the student perspective now that we're 9 days removed. What have your friends and your fellow students and people you hang out with, are they still in a funk? Are they still, punch drunk over what happened, or are they starting to move on and put it behind them?
Well, I went on my dear friend Paul Feinbaum. I went on his radio show yesterday and talked about this. And it was as gloomy as I've ever seen. Of course, it was raining yesterday. The weather was just terrible, really windy. And that just made it a lot worse. And I went from student to student asking their reaction. How do they feel? They feel terrible. They feel gutted. They feel that their team actually didn't go out and put forth any effort when they lose 21-0 against an Alabama team that they defeated earlier this year 9-6. I think going back, you look at what Jordan Jefferson has done as a quarterback, and it's not just the older crowd, it's the younger crowd. Why didn't Jarrett Lee get an opportunity to play in this game? I've been studying film on Jordan Jefferson. He played a really terrible game, Tommy, and a lot of it's been put on the play calling. But going back into it, you go back and look at those first two plays of the second half. LSU had two golden opportunities, not to just make explosive plays downfield, but to score off those plays. Of course, the first pass was dropped by Odell Beckham Jr. That was a very good play action, counter trap left, roll out right. That play wasn't completed. But the second play, you see LSU put forth their longest effort of the night, a 19-yard pass out to Odell Beckham. Jordan Jefferson, that was the epitome of him for a quarterback. It was cover two. They were running three verticals. So on that play, if everybody goes back and rewatches it, not have the fanfare of actually having a positive play, he had D'Angelo Peterson streaking wide open in the middle of the field. All Jordan Jefferson had to do, look off that safety, just look at Odell Beckham, and throw it to his former roommate up the middle of the field. That play, Tommy, if everybody goes back and looks at that play, that right there is a touchdown. You can go on my personal blog, hardknocktigers.blogspot.com. I fully broke down this play. The protection was great. The one play Alabama called defensively where LSU had the perfect deep pass called, three verticals, a play that they had success on the November 5th game. They did not execute it to perfection, even though it was their longest play of the night.
Could have made all the difference in the world.
Really,
Carter.
it would have made it a 12-7 ball game. Would have completely changed.
Well, and it would have woke up the fans. I mean,
exactly.
LSU fans, other than Brockers blocking a field goal and maybe one or two other plays, they had nothing to cheer about all night. Alabama's fans were much more into the game than LSU's fans were. If you hit a big gain on that play or a touchdown, you know, hindsight's 20/20. We all know that, but who knows what that could have resulted in?
Yeah, we'll get to basketball and stuff in that second because this is a sore subject to talk about among the LSU community. I hate talking about it in and of itself. The Superdome, Tommy, as it is for a lot of people in Louisiana, that's my favorite sporting venue. And I was telling everyone after the game, once they cleaned the confetti, I wouldn't have been surprised to see chalk outlines of the LSU offensive linemen on the ground. They were that beaten up inside. Going back and rewatching the film, Alabama was not only the better coach team, they executed better. I think David.
They wanted it more.
They wanted it more. And you go back and you look, David Pollock, great defensive player for Georgia. I was on his show that day, Palmer Pollock. He counted the amount of missed tackles Alabama had. They did not have one until 9 minutes and 15 seconds left in the fourth quarter. They are fundamentally sound. They're a team on a mission. And the big thing about this, you look at Nick Saban. That was the most Saban-esque victory you will ever see. An ugly 21-0 bout where it looks like he scored many touchdowns, except it was field possession, field goals type of game. And you look Alabama, 35 minutes time possession compared to LSU. And also in the first game, Alabama ran 13 plays inside of LSU's 30-yard line. They averaged negative 1.5 yards per play, only 3 positive plays of positive yardage. You look back at this game, they averaged 2 yards per play. That was positive. That's how they're able to get those easy field goals in that one. Of course, Jeremy Shelley nailed them. LSU ran no plays inside the 30-yard line. And I call that the power zone. Can you get in that extended red zone area and create scoring opportunities? LSU, of course, wasn't able to do that because of the bad play calling, because of Jordan Jefferson's incompetence at quarterback and his ability to just fumble snaps, time in and time out. And also, one thing that really ticked the students off, Tommy, and I actually spoke to some students about this the other day, was the report that was confirmed actually by Paul Feinbaum to me that Jordan Jefferson was out gambling a couple nights before the game. And a lot of people said it was multiple nights, it wasn't just one night. This is a guy that he's getting ready to play in one of the most important games in LSU football history. You have the chance to lead this team to the best team in LSU history, and you're not studying film. You can't read cover 2 and hit D'Angelo Peterson over the middle. That is unacceptable among the LSU students. That is unacceptable towards Jarrett Lee, who was unbelievable in the first part of the year. Even though he had 1 touchdown and 7 interceptions, that's why you get the feeling that the players wanted Jarrett Lee in instead of Jordan Jefferson, because Jarrett Lee, I don't think, was out gambling a couple nights before the game, even though he wasn't the starting quarterback.
Interesting stuff from Carter Bryant here on Pelican Sports TV. Spread the roar about Tigers Roar. When we come back, we're going to again let you hear the comments that Les Miles made yesterday out on the campus in his meeting with the press right before a football team meeting. We'll be back with more Spread the Roar, Tigers Roar, Pelican Sports TV, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and New Orleans, and on the internet at PelicanSportsTV.com.
I'm attorney Kerry Bryson. My law firm focuses specifically on helping people try to solve their IRS tax problems. Lately, so many new out-of-state companies are popping up claiming that if you send them money, they can resolve your IRS problems. Well, what happens if they don't? Do you hire an attorney? Maybe you should start with a local attorney that's already handled hundreds of IRS cases right here in Louisiana. When you hire the Bryson Law Firm, you won't be speaking long distance or sending money to some out-of-town high-pressure salesman. You'll meet with us in person at our office right here in Baton Rouge. Your first visit is completely free and confidential, and we'll tell you on the spot exactly how much it'll cost. So if you're hiring a company to resolve your IRS wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, check their reputation first, then call me, Kerry Bryson, or go to BrysonLawFirm.com. If you're a Louisiana resident and you have an IRS problem, hire a Louisiana attorney, Kerry Bryson.
Hello, my name is Debbie. Welcome to Debbie's Bridal, a formal affair.
Come see the many great lines we carry in bridal, bridesmaids, mothers, flower girls, tuxes, and more. We also carry over 25 top designer lines in debutante gowns, Mardi Gras, pageant, and prom. Come meet me and my staff with over 30 years of bridal and pageant experience. Debbie's Bridal, a formal affair, Burnside and Gonzales, where service matters.
I want to remind all you good folks down in New Orleans, as well as Baton Rouge and Lafayette, about a free live show, a CD release party, a new album release party by Lillian Axe. They know how to rock and roll with the very best of them. It should be Saturday, February the 4th. Saturday, February the 4th at the Howlin' Wolf in the Warehouse District in New Orleans. Doors open at 9 p.m. For more info, go to LillianAxe.com. That's LillianAxe.com, as they will have a new album party release Saturday, February the 4th. Lillian Axe for you at the Howlin' Wolf. We'll tell you a whole lot more about it between now and then, but that's rock and roll. Stevie Blaze and his band, as good as it gets. Lillian Axe. Put that on your calendar. We want to see you there. It's free. Come on out and have a great time. I'm Tommy Chrysan, again with Carter Bryant, a member of the Pelican Sports TV crew. Again, to see all of his features, go to our YouTube page. Right now, we want to, again, get you to comments from Les Miles. Some of you that saw this in hour number 1. Stick with us. We know you want to see it again. Not everybody gets to watch all 2 hours of the program. So here it is again. This happened Tuesday at the Football Operations Center. Les Miles' postseason wrap-up. Look forward to 2012 conference. We got it for you right now from our Pelican Sports TV crew that was on hand.
I have to tell you that, beyond the last game, there's been a lot of heartache on our team. I think a quality group of men that tried awfully hard to win everything, fell short. I don't think there's any question that that's a pain that I can tell you that I do think about the ability to change quarterbacks. That was a question that I had brought to my staff. There was a point in time where we just scrambled into the 32-yard line against Alabama, and Jordan Jefferson had put us in that position. And the way the pass rush was going in that game, we just felt like we needed a mobile quarterback to make a play like that. And then understand that if you finish one drive, you just finish one drive and you score 7, it's a completely different game, really, right from the start to the finish, minus the back end. So I can tell you that Jarrett Lee did come to mind. We do have confidence in Jarrett. We just felt like we needed that guy who might be able to get loose with his feet. And that being said, I have a difficult time bemoaning my team's effort, my coach's effort, and the want to win. I felt like they did everything that they could, that they were asked to do. I don't think we played perfectly. I don't think there's anybody would say that this is something that was representative of our best play. But I can tell you that our guys gave everything they had. Now, that being said, we hang 2 banners in this building. You know, the fundamentals of this program is to win championships. This team is a championship team. We won the West. Now, in the West, you have at one point in time 1, 2, and 3. So you win the West, any way you cut it, you're in the top 4 in the country. And we win the conference, and the conference is the finest conference in college football, certainly arguably, but certainly in our view, that when we take 11 weeks as the number 1 team in the country and really repel all comers, played 8 nationally ranked teams, beat the national champions in the regular season, and really play in the last game where only 2 teams get to play. Later this spring, our team will take a day and hang the Western Division Championship banner in our indoor facility and the conference championship in our indoor facility. I have to be very honest to tell you that I cannot bemoan this team's success, and by any measure, this is a great year. And that being said, I can tell you that our team at 4 o'clock will be directed towards next year. We return a team, in my mind, that will have just as much talent, just as capable as any that we've had. And just as we did a year ago, there's some things that we're going to have to put together. There's some pieces that need to mature and come. But I don't think that there's any question that this team will be capable. We'll throw the football more. We will lose a characteristic of a quarterback that can move his feet and run by design, and we'll have a guy that will scramble, but certainly will throw the football by percentage greater. I can tell you that we're having a great recruiting class. I like the class as it's shaping up, even very currently. I think it's an opportunity for us to again compete for a national championship with the style of class that we're capable of bringing in. We certainly have to finish strong, but again, that's something that this program has done. And again, we will have a team meeting, and we'll start next semester. And I don't bemoan the want to have finished well in that last game, but we won 13 straight. And the opportunity for us, to approach that style of team and exceed is certainly before us.
Carter, did you think Les Miles really said anything yesterday?
No,
I mean, it just smoke and mirrors, and felt like he had to do it. He was probably encouraged to do it by the Sports Information Department to just try to appease people. I don't think he accomplished much, other than the only thing rock solid that he said was it was nothing to do with academics or discipline was not the reason that Jared Lee did not play. We all knew he hung his hat on Jordan Jefferson. He ended up hanging his hat on the wrong man. His decision, every decision you make's not correct. What I make's not correct. That decision by Les Miles ended up not being a correct one.
Yeah, and you look what Les Miles has done all year. We've been to every press conference every Monday, and he gets you in this affable stage of you love him so much, you laugh, and then you get out of the press conference and you say, well, did I really even learn anything?
No.
And that's how it's been all year. The last couple of weeks, of course, you've seen that that Les Miles has been saying there's going to be a two-quarterback system. Well, there hadn't been two quarterbacks playing. And you go back and you look at Jared Lee's history against Alabama. 1 touchdown, 7 interceptions. But could he have made a difference in this game? That's something you will never know because Jared Lee wasn't given the chance.
Jared Lee played in an all-star game in Arizona this past Monday night, tossed a couple of touchdowns, had a good completion percentage. We'll be in another all-star game in a couple of weeks. Jordan Jefferson wasn't invited to any all-star games that I'm aware of. Did have a couple of Tigers going to the Senior Bowl, Blackwell and
I'll be there
Taylor.
In 2 weeks, yes.
You going to that? Blackwell, Taylor, and who was the other one that got invited?
I think it was D'Angelo Peterson.
D'Angelo Peterson, that's correct. He caught a touchdown against Northwestern State, didn't catch another TD all year. With Carter Bryant, I'm Tommy Chrysan. We're going to come back and let you hear from Mo Claiborne and Michael Brockers. Still to come, our weekly run through the LSU athletic department. Carter's got stuff on basketball for you. I've seen him play this year as well in person. We'll talk about that and a whole lot more. Carter playing with the football on the set. Spread the roar about Tigers Roar right here on Pelican Sports TV. Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and New Orleans, and streaming on the internet worldwide. PelicanSportsTV.com.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Tynan, Miss Louisiana Team USA 2011.
And I'm Paige Pennick, Miss Louisiana USA 2011.
And you're watching Pelican Sports TV.
BetterBatonRougeJobs.com has been extremely beneficial for the TM Automotive Group. And what stands out to us, it's easy to use, not only for us, but it's easy for the applicants. And it's the quality of applicants that we get. It's timely. We post something in the morning. By that afternoon, we have double-digit applicants. And again, it's the quality of the applicants.
Employers, now is a great time to hire, recruit, and look for potential new employees.
BetterBatonRougeJobs.com. It's free for job seekers and great for business.
You're on the same plane.
We'll be on the same plane, regardless.
Yeah, we need to work. Anything together? Do we know that?
Got it.
Thanks, Dave.
The big, brilliant, thin Samsung Infuse 4G. Only from the network of possibilities, AT&T.
For the thirsty, for those who hang out in packs, for heroes, for sidekicks, for those who see the glass half empty, for those who see it half full, for those on the right, for those on the left, for those with nicknames, for those with curves, for people that cycle, for people that recycle, for BFFs, for frenemies, for those with style, for lovers, for families, for big families, for everyone.
40 years, 4 decades, nearly half a century. That's how long the citizens of Greater Baton Rouge have chosen Richards Honda. A simple, sincere, and honest process.
Louisiana's oldest and most experienced Honda dealership for over 40 years, Richards Honda.
I want to remind you about a special event, or tell you about a special event on Saturday, February the 4th in the Gonzales Civic Center on Irma Boulevard in Gonzales. It's a black tie event, a Mardi Gras ball. The crew of Gonzales Fraternal Order of Police presenting it. Big sponsor is Debbie's Bridal, A Formal Affair. To get your tickets, to reserve a table, to get involved, go to Debbie's Bridal on Burnside in Gonzales or call 644-2942. A portion of sales of gowns for this ball will go to the benefactors. That's the crew of Gonzales Fraternal Order of Police. Mardi Gras Ball, a black tie event, Saturday, February 4th, sponsored by Debbie's Bridal, A Formal Affair in the Gonzales Civic Center. Ought to be a great event, so put that on your calendar. Check it out. Again, stop by Debbie's Bridal on Burnside in Gonzales for more information or to get those tickets or to reserve that table. And the phone number is area code 225-644-2942. Going to be a great event on that Saturday night, the 4th. With Carter Bryant, I'm Tommy Chrysan. At the back end of last week, LSU had a press conference with Mo Claiborne and Michael Brockers announcing their intentions to go to the NFL draft and turn professional. We'll hear those comments, then come back and get Carter's input and take on that, as well as some commentary about Ruben Randall and Russell Shepard. Here now, the press conference with Mo Claiborne and Michael Brockers.
First of all, I want to give thanks to God, because without him, none of this would be possible. And just to Coach Miles and all the things he have done for me, and him coming to my house, recruiting me, and giving me this opportunity to be here and get a good education here at LSU, and my teammates. I mean, those guys have been awesome this year. I mean, we've had a great year, and there's nothing to hang your head down of. The coaches have done a good job with us this year and helping us to achieve our goal. I mean, yeah, we fell a little short at the end, but I mean, that's football. I mean, you can't win them all, and like I said, it just wasn't in God's plans for us to accomplish our overall goal. But we have a great program here at LSU, and it's something I'm sad about leaving, but I mean, you only get this opportunity once in a lifetime. But I just want to thank Coach Miles, because he's been a great man to me. I mean, on and off the field. I mean, I can't thank him enough in this program. Have done so much for me, and I just thank them for giving me the opportunity to come here and play football and also get an education here at LSU.
This opportunity wouldn't be possible without God first. And I just want to thank the coaching staff, everyone, the trainers, the equipment managers, just everybody that just helped me along, my journey at LSU, being productive. And, and I thank the fans, too. They were great fans this year. We came up short, as Mo said before. But, I mean, it's nothing to hang your head down. We 13 and, we're 13-0 in the regular season. Got an SEC championship. We beat the national champions once, and I just feel like we just had an amazing season all the way around. And I just want to thank everyone, at LSU, and everybody that just helped me. And it's been an amazing season. You have to do what's best for the team. You have to also, trust, the coaches and what their techniques and what they're saying and what they're doing. If I just see right now, if I would have, got mad or, got upset, from changing from defensive end to defensive tackle, where would I be? Right now. But it was a great decision, and I bought into the program and, the coaches and, what they were telling me, and, I'm here today.
It's interesting. I think there's
different times for guys to leave our program. I think that, you know, the thing that both of these men have done is they've had real consistent growth as a person, as a student athlete, academically. Both men have been very humble in their approach to learning football and started at a level much less the level that they're at, and improved and became tremendously competitive and really have put themselves in a position to you know, really enter the NFL draft early at an advantaged position. Mo is expected to be, you know, in the top 10 players, if not the top 5 players in the NFL draft, and you know, the opportunity for him to improve his draft position really doesn't exist. And I think Michael Brockers has the potential to improve his draft position, but is making a decision, in my opinion, maybe a family decision that allows him to fulfill an obligation to his family.
You hear all over the board, you know. I mean, you hear first, you hear, you know, beginning of second. I mean, you know, I don't know where it is, you know, at this point, or you know where it's locked in at. But I mean, you know, I feel like this was the best decision for me. And but not before Monday. You know, after the game, you know, I thought about, you know, how the game ended, and you know, I talked to my mom and you know my circle and my grandmother and people like that that are really close to me that I trust. And we just came, you know, together and made this decision, and I feel like it's a pretty good decision for me.
Both men have done everything that we've asked them to do. Both men, you know, have really represented this program, both on and off the field, in a very exemplary way. We're going to miss them. They're quality men. I've been fortunate to call up a huddle with these guys in it, and I can tell you that their teammates will miss them as well.
This program is great, and they know what's best. They know what's best for you. I mean, and you have to feel like you know what's best for yourself also. And when they tell you that you have to change a position or something, you can't take it as, oh man, I can't play that position. I mean, you just have to run with it and do what's best for your team.
It's a real interesting thing to watch the development of our players. Both of these guys are great examples. Mo comes in and really cornerback or wide receiver, and certainly would have excelled at either. And really, as a returner and just all the things that he could do, again, developed weight strength development, academic development as a person. And, you know, he stands in a pretty strong position to go to the NFL draft after just 3 years. And you look at Michael Brockers. Michael Brockers came in. We recruited him where some people were recruiting him at offensive tackle. Mm-hmm. We were recruiting him at defensive end, the guy that have to pare down. And he grew up, and he stayed on the defensive side, and again developed and worked, and both men exhibited the ability to buy into the program and to really improve their position, not only on this team but on a draft board based on, you know, doing those things that they were asked to do on behalf of the team and within the program. We're really proud of their who they are as people.
Carter, we'll go through the list. Your thoughts on Mo Claiborne entering the NFL draft?
I think Morris Claiborne's been the best player on LSU football from wire to wire. I think this guy can do everything on the football field that you ask from a corner. He can tackle in the open field. He can make plays when the ball's in the air. And he does a great job locating the football when it's in the air. And also, great basketball player. He sort of boxes players out when he's out there. Great overall play, but you wonder why he didn't make a play in the Alabama game. Well, of course, he had the kickoff returns. The ball was never thrown to his side of the field. That's impressive. That's when you know you're a really good player.
And they went after the Tyrann Mathieu all night. Your thoughts on Michael Brockers, Carter?
Michael Brockers is a guy I've gotten to know really well, especially towards the back end of the year. He watches film, and he has a high football IQ that was really surprising, you know, going from defensive end, defensive tackle. He knew all the intricacies of the position, even though there's only his second year really playing it as far as being on the field. I think he can slip blocks really well, holds well at the point of the attack. He could play in a 4-3 or a 3-4. He's willing to change his body type to do either or.
Ruben Randall?
Ruben Randall's one of those guys that he's going to the NFL. He didn't make the announcement with these other guys. He could have had the opportunity to come back with Zach Mettenberger, but he had to make that move to the NFL. He's one of those guys that Mel Kiper calls the best deep threat in this NFL draft. You saw earlier this year, even when corners played him in cover 3, he was able to still burn them at the point of attack, able to make plays down the field constantly for LSU offense. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to do so against Alabama.
And Russell Shepard has decided to return after tweeting out that he was going to go.
Yeah, I know Russell pretty well. He's a great overall team chemistry guy in the locker room. He's a great personality, probably the most affable guy on the team. Great blocker, and on special teams, you ever watch him play special teams, he always makes a big collision when he's on punt or a kickoff team or whatever he's put out there on. But as far as him being a wide receiver, he can't get off breaks well, Tommy. He doesn't do a great job of locating the football like Morris Claiborne does when it's in the air. He's only caught 14 balls this year. He hadn't got many touches. And you and Ronnie were alluding earlier that maybe Russell's not being utilized correctly. Well, you also have to ask yourself, is this guy really good in the first place? Is he that deep threat that can catch the ball downfield? Have you ever seen him make a jump ball catch downfield? No. Have you ever seen him run a route where the ball was thrown to him perfectly down the field outside of that blown coverage against Alabama? No. He has 4 touchdowns on the year. He was great in the red zone, which is a surprise considering he is a smaller guy. He is really physical. He does have a nose for that goal line, but can he make the explosive plays downfield? Can he get behind a safety? We don't know that. Has he been utilized correctly? Probably not. But is he really that great of a football player to begin with? We still have to wait and see.
Certainly not NFL material at this point in time.
Yeah, he probably woke up and said, hey, this isn't the MLB draft. It's not 60 rounds. I'm not going to get drafted. I should go back. It just seemed, it was such a frustrating idea because it just seems to me that Russell understands the game as well as anybody on the team. He knows that he didn't have the ability to go to the NFL draft, much less the production to go to the NFL draft. I think he knew the entire time. He was just really frustrated, only playing 3 plays against Alabama in the national championship
With
game.
Carter Bryant, I'm Tommy Krysan. We'll come back, take our weekly run through the athletic department, and put a wrap on tonight's show. You're watching Tigers Roar on Pelican Sports TV, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and New Orleans, as well as on the internet at PelicanSportsTV.com.
Key attributes that really puts Papa John's Pizza over the top is our meats. Nobody does what Papa John's does.
For just $11, get our new double-layered premium pepperoni pizza, loaded with a layer of our signature pepperoni, plus a layer of oversized deli-style pepperoni. Just $11 for a large. Plus, get double points all weekend long and earn free pizza fast with Papa Rewards, only at papajohns.com. Sign up now.
Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Attention, all companies dealing with cash flow problems. Companies are going out of business every day. Bankruptcies are at an all-time high. Accounts receivable delinquencies are at the highest levels in decades. Let us help your business collect money owed to your business. NRH and Associates has the solutions. Let NRH and Associates utilize their innovative collection methods to get cash flow back into your business. Call 601-889-0501. That number again, 601-889-0501.
Hi, I'm attorney Kerry Bryson. My law firm focuses specifically on helping people try to solve their IRS tax problems. Lately, so many new out-of-state companies are popping up claiming that if you send them money, they can resolve your IRS problems. Well, what happens if they don't? Do you hire an attorney? Maybe you should start with a local attorney that's already handled hundreds of IRS cases right here in Louisiana. When you hire the Bryson Law Firm, you won't be speaking long distance or sending money to some out-of-town high-pressure salesman. You'll meet with us in person at our office right here in Baton Rouge. Your first visit is completely free and confidential, and we'll tell you on the spot exactly how much it'll cost. So if you're hiring a company to resolve your IRS wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, check their reputation first, then call me, Kerry Bryson, or go to BrysonLawFirm.com. If you're a Louisiana resident and you have an IRS problem, hire a Louisiana attorney, Kerry Bryson.
It's time for our weekly run through the LSU athletic department as we put the final segment together for you on this week's edition of Tigers Roar. Year-round program. Had an email over the weekend. This program does not stop because football playing games is over. It's year-round. Men's basketball team now 12-6 overall, 2-2 in conference play. Last night defeated Auburn in overtime, 65-58, outscored Auburn 9-2 in the extra session as LSU with a nice victory. 2-2 in conference play. No more East and West divisions in men's basketball, kind of like the women. They're just lining up all 12 teams. Schedule gets a little tougher in the next couple of weeks for this basketball team, Carter, but Johnny O'Brien will be back in about a week and a half. Had a little surgery on his non-shooting left hand. This is a better team that Trent Johnson has this year.
Yeah, and you look at what Justin Hamilton has done, the 7-footing transfer from Iowa State, 13 points per game, 7 rebounds per game. He leads both in both of those categories. You saw what he did last week on the road against Arkansas. Really picked up his play in the second half. And then also in overtime, making that clutch rebound to seal the game for LSU. He needs to stay aggressive on the glass. He will go missing at times. And also Anthony Hickey. LSU has a point guard, one of freshman quality that I haven't seen in a while since probably those Darren Mitchell Final Four days. Leads the team in assists, steals, and minutes as a freshman. He's really doing everything for LSU as a young man. And he told me at Media Day, Chris was with me as well, he wants to be the team leader, and he's done that so far this year.
And, you know, I was very impressed with Justin Hamilton. I was at the LSU Ole Miss game when the Tigers won their conference opener in the Pete Maravich Assembly Center, and Hamilton had a career high in points and rebounds in that game, double-double. He's done that again since then. And if this guy can continue to improve, he's improved significantly since November when play started to this point, it's going to help LSU, going to get more wins. They only won 3 conference games last year. They're already at 2. Again, schedule's pretty tough in the next couple of weeks, but I think they'll find more wins before this season's over with. Borderline tournament team, going to have to get a few lucky bounces and spring an upset or two to end up in the NCAA tournament. If they can play consistent, solid basketball, perhaps an NIT is in their future.
Yeah, they go on the road to Florida where Anthony Hickey will get his first test. Those freshman guards over there in Florida with Brandon Beal, who's unbelievable for the Florida Gators. He also has to go up against the senior, Irvin Walker, who's great. And also Justin Hamilton. In a few weeks, he's going up against probably the best freshman in the SEC Conference, Anthony Davis, a great shot block expert for Kentucky, who's probably going to break a shot blocking record this year. If Justin Hamilton's for real, he'll come and bring his lunch pail to work here in a couple weekends in the PMAC when he faces against this legendary shot-blocking Kentucky team.
The women's basketball team, Coach Nikki Caldwell, they had a 10-game winning streak snapped against Florida this past weekend. They dropped that contest 62-58. They are 13-4 overall, 4-1 in conference play. Thursday night, Nikki Caldwell goes home, if you will. She was a player for the Lady Vols of Tennessee under legendary coach Pat Summitt. Then she was an assistant coach on that staff before going out to UCLA and before coming to LSU, obviously in her first season at LSU. Tough task for Nikki Caldwell, but this women's team is also a little bit better this year.
And you're looking at the senior, Lysandra Baird, 12 points per game, 6 rebounds per game. Leads the team in points, rebounds, also steals in minutes. The last great player who was great in all those categories was Akeem Olajuwon. She reminds me a lot of when he played for the Houston Rockets. And Crystal Forthan, the freshman, doing great things, 7 points, 6 rebounds per game, really picking up her play this year.
Also, a couple other notes for you, Carter, someone you know very well. Kimberlyn Duncan in track and field is on the preseason watch list for the Bowerman Award, which is presented to the top track athlete in the country. You see her indoor championships, outdoor scoring records. Kimberlyn Duncan, one of the top student athletes at LSU, a part of the track and field program.
And what a great person to be around. Whenever I was out at the track and field facility, everyone talked about her leadership and her ability to keep the team together. She's a great star, but also track, a very individualistic sport. She's a team player as well.
And in the gymnastics, Lamincia Hall is the SEC Freshman of the Week with her first career title. LSU is ranked 25th. They have a meet Friday at Arkansas. SEC Freshman of the Week. That's good for the future of the gymnastics program at LSU.
Look at that fierce look on her face. Goodness, she is ready. She's out for. She has some Tigers blood in her system, Charlie Sheen style. She's going to be great. Dee Bro finally got this young squad ready to go for this year. I expect big things out of LSU gymnastics.
Carter Bryant, as always, we appreciate all your work. Great stuff here tonight on the program. And I know we're going to try to do some other features here on Tigers Roar going through the spring. Again, this is a year-round program. And maybe some baseball, maybe some softball, and I'm sure you'll concoct some other things as well for us.
Chris, Nick, and I, we are a great team. We're going to be putting out some great stuff. Can't wait. Excited for Pelican Sports this semester.
And see all the Carter's working. It's really good stuff. It's entertaining, it's fun, it's quality, and it gives you a really good look and a chance to know some of the LSU student athletes that you don't see on national TV all the time. He'll let you get to learn more about them and some of the other programs out at LSU. Go to the YouTube page, youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. Of course, a great way to keep up with everything we're doing is the Facebook page, Pelican Broadcasting. Twitter account is @Pelican Sports. Don't forget Pelican Sports Radio has a new home, KKAY, 1590 AM, Monday through Fridays from 3 to 4 p.m. Thanks to Ronnie Rance for hour number 1, Carter Bryant, hour number 2. I'm Tommy Christ saying spread the roar. You've been watching Tigers Roar.